getting the live stream open. Give me a second. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Okay, perfect. Oh, geez, so loud. So loud. Okay, we're here. We're ready to go. Welcome, welcome, good morning. Well, good whatever time of day it is for you. You know what? I don't particularly... Is this okay? Should we... Hold on one second. I am still trying to figure out this whole live situation and how to film. Oh, we're getting there. You know what? I am gonna move this bad boy. How do I change the... Oh my gosh. You know what? We're gonna move this. Oh, jeez. Over here. How... No, you know what? That's not gonna do. We're just gonna leave it like this, actually. Sorry, I'm just trying to rotate the device. Okay, orientation is locked. Is this good? Is this okay for you? Can you see all right? I do believe this is okay. Sure, perfect. Okay, I think this is all right. I really would like it to be more this way. Oh, there we go. Is that better? I promise one day I will get this shenaniganry fixed and figured out. Okay, give me a second. Yes, we're on mobile. Okay, this is fine. This is okay. Okay, we'll give people a second to show up. We've got our coloring book, we've got a coffee, we've got markers, we've got colored pencils. Everyone can see okay. We'll give everybody a little bit of a chance to show up. And I will get some nice little music going. Oh, Ted, hello. Chaos in this house. Alrighty, hello, Ted. Thank you for joining us. We'll have a little... Oh my God, so loud. Okay, perfect. Have a little bit of chill music going on. We've got this. Okay. Perfect. Alrighty, I think we're ready to go. So today we are working on the second page of our coloring book today, our vintage coloring book that we got in the States. So excited about it. So last time we colored Washington, and today we're gonna color Oregon. And In the last one, we learned all about nuclear bomb cities, cities that were created because of the Manhattan Project. And I'm excited to see what we learn about Oregon today. So if you didn't know, on Patreon for everybody, even if you're a free member, you can download this, coloring book. And have it and color with me, which is pretty sweet. I'm gonna move you. We're gonna move you. Oh, we're gonna move this a smidgely bit closer so that we can actually see. So yeah, not yesterday. Last time we did Washington. And this is what we did. It was super cute. We had the tartan going on. Hi, Marissa. We had tartan and we did this. So today I brought in some markers as well as colored pencils so that we could have like an extra little zhuzh in our coloring session today. We're gonna do Oregon on this fine day. So I'm just gonna put this back here and we're gonna get out Oregon and give it a little try. I'm very excited about this. I'm gonna see if I can move you ever so slightly more this way. Oh, there we go. That's so much nicer. So then you can see we've got coffee and we're good. I think we are good to go. All right. Let's get started. So I'm going to get started with some markers so that we can have like a cute little outline, I think. I'm going to start out with this fine gentleman over here. And while we do that, I'm going to get my little notes about Oregon up so we can talk about Oregon. And no, you know what? I'm going to start with his shirt. I definitely think that he would wear a brown shirt. Now, you know what? What color do you think we should do? Not brown. That doesn't sound very exciting. What do we think? Maybe a blue shirt? No, we did a blue shirt last time. I think maybe that we should do green. I like green. Let's do green. Let's find all my greens. Here we go. Ooh, this is a beautiful forest green. So we're gonna do one of those. I always see artists do those like fun outlines before they color with colored pencil, and I want to give that a try today. Yay. Any Oregonians out there, if you have any fun facts about Oregon, please let us know. I've got some fun facts written down about Oregon that we can talk about. So Oregon, if you have ever played the game Oregon Trail when you were a kid, the 8-bit game where you're like, oh, suddenly you have dysentery. If you ever played that one, that is kind of what Oregon was most famous for when I was a kid, you know. And there is a reason why the Oregon Trail is called the Oregon Trail, and it's because the trail ended in Oregon, which Oregon became a state in 1859. On February 14th, actually, which is really interesting. On Valentine's Day, it became a state. And one thing that I think is super cool is Oregon's state flower over here is an Oregon grape, which you can eat it, but it's like super bitter. Yay, I think I like his little green shirt. That's really cute. Okay, let's see about his pantaloons. I'm thinking possibly for his pants, we're gonna go with like a nice khaki color. Where's my khaki? I think this is a pretty khaki color. Oh, we've got a kitty visitor. Hello, ma'am. How are ya? Welcome. What's going on? Would you like to join us? I'm so sorry. Sorry, hun. You gotta get out. It's not kitty cat drawing time, my friend. Okay, love you. Oh, you're getting more colored pencils than coloring book? Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, give me a hot minute to move some stuff around because I think you're right. I think we need this to get moved a bit. How is that? I think this is a little bit better, yes, possibly. And then we'll just move things over. Thank you for telling me. Okay, and then we'll move you over here. Okay, bye-bye, kitty. We'll move you over here. My little notes. And then I think this is a bit better. I think this is better. What do we think? Or is it better this way? Yes. Okay, I think that's good. And then we're going to get a little bit closer so that we can see a little bit better. I'm so sorry this is so janky, guys. I'm just trying to learn how to do this. We have a very small little Japanese apartment, so it takes a bit of time to get used to everything and to figure out how to do this. Okay, I think that's good. How do we like that? Beautiful. Okay, I think that's way better. You let me know what you think. All right, great. Perfect. We're good to go. Let me get my little thing over here. We'll start with our markers and then we'll go to our colored pencils. Okay, I believe that we are ready, spaghetti. Cool. Thank you for letting me know that it was more colored pencil than coloring book. We did get a new, I got a new stand, so there's way less shaking this time. I can color in everything with exponentially less shaking. There we go. That looks beautiful. Okay. Then let's see. So we've got this fella. I think he should have black shoes, like some nice black boots. I think that'll be perfect. So when I was doing some research on Oregon, I found out one of the weirdest facts ever about the state, other than that it was founded on Valentine's Day, is that it has the highest number of llamas in the US. It owns Oregon, the people who live in Oregon own 1/4 of all of the United States llamas. That just reminds me of the lady who, on TikTok, I see her all the time. She has a very, oh no, that's not a llama. Yeah, no, she does have a llama on there. She has a very stupid llama that lives on her little farm, and I'm wondering now if she's in Oregon, because that would make sense since it has the largest population of llamas. Okay, we're gonna do a little coffee break. Another weird fact that I learned about Oregon is that it is the inspiration for Springfield in the Simpsons TV show. Like Springfield, instead of Springfield, Ohio being the inspiration, it's Springfield, Oregon that's actually the inspiration for the Simpsons, which is so interesting. Oh, let's get into this little guy over here in his green shirt. I think The Simpsons might be one of the longest running TV shows ever. It's been going for forever. Okay, little green shirt is good. Another super weird fact that I actually learned from a girl I follow on Instagram and TikTok. She's called the Black Forager. She's so informative. I love her content so much. She talks all about foraging and things and finding your own food and things like that. And one weird fact that she said about Oregon, it has the world's largest mushroom. It's the biggest fungus in the world. It's called the honey fungus, and it covers over 2,300 acres, which is bananas. Can you imagine just a giant, it's mostly underground, but that just reminds me of that one game that got turned into a TV show recently with that Pascal fella. I don't know anything about celebrities. My head is full of only historical facts. I do not know. If you're less famous than like Brad Pitt, I don't know who you are. Oh, you remember that game? It was so fun, wasn't it? The Oregon Trail. It was great. Okie dokie. Let us continue. Got our shoes. Obviously, we have to have gray rocks. Some gray over here. I put a poll on Instagram a while ago asking about facts about Oregon, and one of the facts was that Portland was the best city. So I don't know if that's 100% true, but somebody thought it was. I've been to Portland one time. It was really nice. And another crazy thing about Portland is that the capital is Salem. There's so many double names for cities, like Springfield, Ohio, Springfield, Oregon. Then there's Salem, Oregon, Salem, Massachusetts. Not a very creative bunch over here. Oh, I'm so glad it looks better. Yay! Good. Okay. Let's see. What should we do for these mountains? This big rock here needs to be like a dark gray. Okay. Oh, perfect. This looks great. I hope everybody is having a good day. In most of the United States, it's getting late. It's almost bedtime. If you're an early sleeper like me. Okay. There's a lot of spooky history that I found when doing research about Oregon too. I don't know if you've ever heard of the term to be shanghaied, but in my super love for piratey, oceany, and maritime history, I came across it a lot, and I didn't really know what it meant when I was a kid. But when I was doing research for this, I came across the word Shanghai again because Portland has the Shanghai tunnels. And to be shanghaied means that you just get taken away onto a ship and you're forced basically into being a sailor. You're forced into servitude on a ship. And that is being shanghaied. I don't know the origins of the word Shanghai, where it came from. That's something I want to look at and see what the etymology of that word is. But yeah, underneath mainly it's under old Chinatown in Portland. And people who were drunk or super hungover or passed out in the streets or something like that, they would be either lured into these underground tunnels or they would just be straight up kidnapped and taken through these underground tunnels to the docks, to the ships, and they would just be drunk on the ship and then wake up with a horrible hangover and they would be a sailor. Like, ooh. Go to bed drunk, wake up sailor. So that is the act of Shanghai. So there's active Shanghaiing, and there are a ton of tunnels underneath old Chinatown in Portland. And you can take tours. Apparently you can take tours down there and go explore the tunnels. And, you know, some people say it's haunted down there and that there's ghosties. And I want to believe so badly that there's ghosts, truly. But I have never seen a ghost. I felt some weird, like, ooh, this is I got a weird feeling about this, but I have never seen a ghost. And I want to. I really want to. I went to the temple that houses Emperor Sutoku, who is the most evil spirit in Japan. Emperor Sutoku is considered to be the most evil spirit in Japan. And he, has apparently cursed the imperial family for like 300 years. And his tomb is actually here in Shikoku. It's a ways away from me. It's about an hour and a half drive away. And I went with my friend and we went there and we saw his tomb where his body is, because they just left it. They 300 years later, they still haven't taken his body back to the capital, because he was banished to this island, and they still have not taken his body back. And the atmosphere was like spooky there, but it wasn't necessarily, I didn't see any ghosts. But I wonder if it was just spooky because I was freaked out by the story, or because there's actually a malevolent spirit. Who knows? We may never know. I love the YouTube channel Watchers, and they have something called Ghost Files that I absolutely love to watch. And after so many seasons and so many episodes, they have never caught a ghost. So I'm gonna lean on the side of probably ghosts aren't real. But I would still love to go to the Shanghai tunnels and see what that is all about. Alrighty, let's move on to this wood right here. I think this is good. Oh, that's the perfect wood color. Yes, there we go. Another spooky thing about Oregon, everybody says that Massachusetts is a very spooky place, but I'm thinking that Oregon might have it beat, because Oregon has more ghost towns than any other state. There are so many ghost towns in Oregon, and by ghost town I mean abandoned towns, like towns that just, there's a population of 0, and they're old, like saloon towns from the Wild West era. There's also like 1940s, 1950s towns that they're very much giving the Astro City. I don't know if you've seen that movie by, hey you, get out of here. Okay, oh, yeah. Yeah, they look like Astro City towns. There we go. Silly goose. Sorry, my cats keep trying to get on the table. I think I just need to close this door. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so there's like vintage, like 1940s, 1950s towns like that. And there's so many ghost towns that you could just go to. You could just be like, hey, pop into a ghost town. Okay, let's do this salmon over here. This is a very salmon-y color, I believe. Let's get, oh yeah. This little belly of the salmon. And then our salmon's gray. I think they are. I think they're ever so slightly gray at the top. So we're gonna get this. And we're gonna color him gray. Beautiful. Oh, do you know what we forgot to do? The wood on the other side. another little dock over here. Okay. I'm wondering if the etymology of to be shanghaied came from the fact that the tunnels are in the Chinatown area, or the old Chinatown area of Portland. That's my guess. If I had to venture a guess as to why it's called to be shanghaied. Ooh, this is looking good. Another fun fact I learned recently about Oregon from the Spooky Lake Month lady, the lady who does Spooky Lake Month, who's like, yes, hello, is that Oregon has one of the not one of, the deepest lakes in the United States, and it's 1,949 feet deep. Crater Lake, which is spooky as hell. I do not want to go there. Okay. Let's do these mountains. I think this is a good color for the mountains. Perfect. I used to love coloring as a kid. I stopped doing it as an adult until recently as in like during the pandemic. I got back into coloring and coloring books again because I just had so much time on my hands. That's how the podcast started also. It was during the pandemic. Which just seems like such a long time ago. But also not a long time ago. Coloring is just so cathartic, I think. Or meditative, I think is the word that I'm going to use instead. Not cathartic, meditative. Yeah, I think that the term was made up during the 1800s too. Yeah, in America. Yeah, right. That's what I'm thinking, Marissa. I think that we are onto something. You know what? I'm going to Google it right now. Let us Google this. Etymology of Shanghai. Etymology of to be Shanghai. Okay, etymology, the verb Shanghai joined the lexicon with crimping and sailor thieves in the 1850s. We were right, Marissa. Possibly because Shanghai was a common destination of the ships. Okay. Shanghai was a common destination of the ships with abducted crews. The term has since expanded to mean kidnapped or induced to something by means of fraud or coercion. Oh, so interesting. Well, we found out the etymology. Very cool, very exciting. That's really neat. I love that. Yay, we found out. Oh, history is so cool. Shanghai was a common destination. Ooh. Okay, I'm wondering. Yeah, of course. I'm so happy to look it up. I'm wondering if Shanghai was a common destination because of the opium triangle. But this is from the United States. I don't know how much involvement the U.S. had in the opium triangle because it was most typically England, India, and China. That was how the opium triangle, they called it the silver triangle, but it was the opium triangle because they would go and they would get like spices and no, they would not get spices. They would go to India and they would get like silver and iron and things like that, and then they would go to China where they would trade, or where they would, excuse me, I need more coffee. They would go to India, they would get opium, and then they would go to China and they would sell that opium illegally, and then they would get Chinese silver for that opium, and then they would go to a different port in China, and then they would use that silver that the Chinese bureaucrats who were like crooked gave them to buy tea. And that's how the tea, silver, opium trade went in England, India, and China, which is so crazy that it all started with tea. I'm going to go really quick to see if America was involved in the opium trade. What was America trading with China in the 1850s? Let's see. Okay. So from 1840 through 1860, extreme clippers dominated the trade to Asia. These ships were large, carrying huge, lucrative cargoes of tea, spices, textiles, and China ware. So cool. Okay, interesting. So it was not, well, you know, who knows if they dabbled in the opium a little bit. Really cool. That's really, really cool. So interesting. My guess is that they probably did dabble in the opium from time to time. That is my guess. Okay. That's really cool. So cool. I love learning new things. Alrighty. Oh, let me get my music back up. Oh, the cats are so upset right now. Sorry, kitties. I know. I'm sorry that I left you out there. I closed the thing. It's a hard life. Okay. Okay, thank you. You can sit over here. Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so now we know that. That very cool information. Alrighty, let's get this box going. Beautiful. Okay, well, since we have the brown out, we might as well just do the lumber over here as well. I did an episode on the opium trade a while ago. Not very long ago, actually. And it was just bananas, the stuff that England was doing in order to get tea, and then after that, in order to get opium. Like, opium in the Victorian era was just so widely used. It was like really rampant. It was so crazy. And one of the things that I found. Oh yeah, you listened to that one. Thank you, Marissa. So one thing that I found so interesting, so like mind-boggling, was the fact that the Emperor of China, Emperor Wu, was like, let me write a letter to the queen and appeal to her sensibilities. Like, I'm sure that she's a nice lady. I'm sure that, you know, she doesn't allow her citizens to have opium. So why should she pump opium into my country? So he wrote her a letter. But the dude who was in charge of China, basically like the embassy guy in China, was like, no thank you, Emperor. You shouldn't be talking to the queen. The audacity of him to be like, no. I'm just going to stop this communication right here. That was wild. That was really wild to find out. Oh, we got little cherries over here too. Okay. This is looking beautiful. I think this is a pear. I think this might be a good pear color right here. Great. Another fact that I learned about the capital Salem. So the capital city of Salem, Oregon the name was decided on a coin toss. So basically the two dudes, what were their names? Oh, I forgot. It's in my notes. Okay, so this guy named Francis Pettygrove, who was from Portland, Maine, and another guy, his name's Lovejoy. He was from Boston, Massachusetts. And basically, those two guys were trying to decide what the capital city for Oregon was going to be named. Was it going to be Portland, or was it going to be Salem from Massachusetts? And the Portland, Maine man, Mr. Francis, he lost the coin toss. So the capital city got named Salem, which is so interesting. Like, it seems, I feel like the name of the capital city name of a state should definitely be determined via something more serious than a coin toss. Like, how unserious is that? Just doing it on a coin toss. I don't understand. Sometimes history is so unserious. It drives me crazy, but it's also really funny at the same time. Because humans are humans, you know? We can be deeply unserious people. And I think that's good. Sometimes. Not all the times. Okay. What color is an Oregon grape? Let's see. Oregon grape. Oh, they're like a really pretty blue color. Neato. Apparently they're a favorite among food foragers, the Oregon grape. You can eat them. You can eat an Oregon grape. Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ted. This is not kitty cat time, my friend. I know. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us on this fine day. I appreciate you. You can stay here on my lap, though. Oh my gosh. She's having a tough go. Yes, I know. We want to be up here. We want to play. All right. So Oregon grapes are blue. We have determined this. So let me find a good bluish color. Oh, I think this is a lovely blue for an Oregon grape. Hot Ted. Hey. Ma'am. Thank you. You can stay over there. Yeah, you can stay right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can stay right there. You're really getting in the way of this coloring session, my friend. Hi. I know, you're just excited. You just want some love. Yeah. You want to color too? You're really getting in the way. You're really getting in the way, dude. Would you like to come here? I'm trying to color this Oregon grape, man. You are fully in the way, my friend. Okay, if we go like this, can we still see? Hey. Yeah, you trying to draw? Trying to get in on this marker business, my friend? Oh, we forgot the peach up here. Okay. And we'll get our little peach right up here. And I do believe that we are ready for colored pencils. Cool. Oh, wait, we forgot a rock. We forgot a rock. So just a little preview for you in the coming weeks. Last night I did a interview with a lovely, lovely fellow podcaster from the Poisoner's Cabinet, and we talked all about Aqua Tofana. So there'll be an Aqua Tofana episode coming out in the next few weeks. Yay, we're ready for colored pencils. Okay. It is colored pencil time. Alrighty, let's get started with green. Oh, we need a little bit of help with this. Yeah, we talked all about Aqua Tofana yesterday. And then I talked about Japanese poison, which is, it's like poison magic called Kujitsu. It'll be in the episode, but because you're here on the live, I will tell you about it. You get special behind the scenes. So, Kujitsu is a poison recipe or a poison making practice where you put a bunch of insects, scorpions, anything venomous, not poisonous, excuse me, anything venomous that can fight, and you put it in a jar, and those little buggies, they fight until there's only one left, and then you use that last one to create the poison magic, to either like possess people or to unalive somebody. And that is the process of Kujitsu. It's like magic and poison at the same time. All right. I do believe this is, oh yeah, this is a great khaki color for some pants. So recently I've been thinking a lot about like history education and different aspects of history that people find interesting and why people find different things interesting. Like Greek mythology is pretty much the go-to gateway topic for a lot of history lovers. It's like if you didn't get into history from Egypt, or Egyptian mythology, you definitely got into history because of Greek mythology. And it's so interesting. I really want to know why those two topics are so popular. Like, why are those the two things that people are really gravitating to? Yeah, like, yeah, Egyptology. It's like, what is it about those two things in particular that make people so interested in history? Oh, okay, Ted, thank you. And there has to be reasoning behind, like, there has to be somebody who is smarter than me that has looked into this and found out why. Because China is also one of the oldest civilizations. It's like China, Egypt, Mesopotamia. That's what you got. Those three. But everybody seems to be interested in Egypt. When Mesopotamia, the various civilizations there have objectively just as interesting histories. But why are they not more talked about? Why are they not as ubiquitous as other, or as Egyptian history? Why? Why is that that way? I really would like to know. Because when you look at Mesopotamian history, it's got pretty much all of the same things that Egyptian history has, minus the pyramids. But is it only the pyramids that make people excited and interesting? Because ancient Mesopotamia has ghosts, it has magic. The first picture of a ghost comes from Mesopotamia. We have a little imprint, when you like take a slab of wet clay and you make a little imprint in there. The first depiction of a ghost comes from that. And that's really, really neat. There's Mesopotamian magic, there's Mesopotamian exorcisms, so many neat things about Mesopotamia. But people gravitate towards Egypt. And I'm wondering, is it the education system that does that? That makes it more interesting for people? Because it's what they're mostly introduced to? I would love to know, like, what was your... I have to speculate, at least in America and the UK, that it has to do with the generations of Egypt fever and all of the literature that's been created from that, whether it be funny, spooky, or factual. Yeah, you're right, Marissa. I think that does have a lot to do with it, is that the Egyptomania from the Victorians and otherwise carried over into the generations. Yeah. You're I think you're onto something there. Truly. Because why else? And I think it's the mystery too, the mystery of Egypt, because we couldn't read hieroglyphs for so long and it was such a big long mystery, and people were trying for decades and decades, like hundreds of years, to figure out what these hieroglyphs said. And they're interesting, they look really cool. The why can I not think of what the Sumerian language is? Sumerian writing system. What is the Sumerian writing system? Why can I not think of it right now? Sumerian writing. What was it called? Cuneiform. Goodness gracious, I cannot believe I forgot that. Yeah, cuneiform looks way less interesting than hieroglyphs do. Like, cuneiform is just a bunch of dots and lines and dashes and things like that. It's just vertical, horizontal, diagonal lines. So it seems less interesting on the outset. But when you think about it, it's like the first written language, the first like alphabet. Yeah, we have, you know, cave paintings and things like that you could make an argument for that to be language, but the first actual writing system is cuneiform. So, or no, is it? Yes. Why am I doubting myself right now? Yeah, cuneiform. I know this. Sometimes when I go on live, my brain just like stops working. And I doubt what I'm saying. But I know what I'm talking about. So I think that might have something to do with it, is the mystery of the unknown. But then why, tell me why Greek mythology is like the go-to mythology. Egyptian mythology is also well known, I would say, but like Greek mythology had a chokehold on so many of my friends in middle school. Like it was the mythology. It was the end all be all when it came to mythology, like the Percy Jackson series, and then we had all of the other the eyewitness books about Greek mythology, and so many movies about Greek mythology. People loved Greek mythology when I was in. People still love Greek mythology now, you know. But why is it that one? Why did people feel such a connection to Greek mythology? Is it because, you know, it's a Western type of mythology? Is that why? Is there more resources available when researching it and writing about it? I don't know. I do not know. And don't get me wrong, like Greek mythology is very interesting. It's super, super interesting. But so is Sumerian mythology in Hinduana. That lady is so interesting. She's a war, sex, and fertility goddess, which is so cool. That's neat as hell. I think also that it was how elaborate Egyptian writing were compared to those of other civilizations. The Mesoamerican cultures were also elaborate. Yeah, for sure. Funding for research on non-Egyptian civilizations were probably not well funded. Yeah, that definitely has a lot to do with it as well, as the funding for archaeology. Another YouTuber who I absolutely love is the Mini Minute Man, Milo. He does a lot of archaeology content and debunking pseudo archaeology. I really like him, and I was listening to a podcast that he was on about archaeology and funding, like how a lot of times a common thing that pseudo archaeologists, the Mini Minute Man is what he's called. If you look that up, I will type it in. Mini Minute Man. Yeah, the Mini Minute Man is what his YouTube is called. And he was talking about how a lot of times people who dabble in conspiracy and pseudo archaeology say things like, oh, archaeologists just don't go in and they don't research this and things like that. And it's not that they don't want to, it's oftentimes there's not enough funding to go around. Like you have to have funding to do any sort of dig, and funding is scarce. A friend of the podcast, oh geez, hello Waffles. She is an archaeologist. She's been on the podcast. Hannah Herrick. She's been on the podcast a few times, twice I think now, and she'll be on a third time during this season break. And she talks about funding, and we've talked about how hard it is. You basically have to just like convince a room of people who are not archaeologists usually why your research is important when it comes to experimental archaeology, when it comes to the physical digging part. You just gotta convince them that what you're doing is important and what you're doing needs to be done. And sometimes they're like, yeah, let's do it. And sometimes they're not. And there's been this move towards making more like, oh jeez, Waffy. Making more archaeology communications, like documentaries and things like that. So, like what the Mini Minuteman calls himself, instead of a content creator, he calls himself an archaeologist communicator. So, an archaeology communicator, which I really like that term. I usually call myself an edutainer because I am a history educator and I also do entertainment. But I really like the communicator. I think that is an interesting label. So back to my main point is a lot of archaeologists have been moving towards that type of content to get funding. So putting things on TikTok, putting things on YouTube and social media, and inviting documentary crews to come in to their digs and things like that. And some people have a big problem with it because they're like, oh, you're selling out, you're commercializing archaeology and turning it into like, I don't know, not as serious of a discipline by inviting in the, like, inviting in the public, and not necessarily the public, but inviting in social media basically. And so the community is split in a way. You know, I wouldn't say it's like 50-50, but there are people on the side of not wanting to bring it to social media. And I can definitely understand that feeling, that because once information is out there, you really don't have control on it and people can do with it what they will. But I think people are going to use pseudoscience and fill in the blanks that they think there are with or without this information out there. So I think that it would be better to have this information out there to counteract the pseudoscience. So yeah, same with the scientific community. John and Hank Green for sure were the pioneers in that, creating things like Crash Course and the what is it? Their science one. Crash Course is their history one, and then their science one, I forget what it's called. But yeah, I think that's really good. I think there's value in that type of short form content to get people interested. The barrier of academia is so high, that ivory wall is so friggin' high, that I think it really discourages people from wanting to know more things. And so having reliable information online is really, really important. Having historians and having scientists that are online to combat a lot of the conspiracy theories that have popped up due to this lack of information is really important. And I think it's good. I think more people should do it. I want Bill Nye the Science Guy to come back. I need him. For sure. Okay. Gosh, I went on a tangent. I am so sorry about that. My long ass tangent about education. But that's, what I think about a lot. And that's what I try to do with my podcast, is lower that barrier. Thank you, Marissa. Yeah, it is a great way to reach more people of all classes and backgrounds. I think education is so important, especially history education and science education. But me being a history educator, I have more knowledge on why history is important to learn. And there's that old adage, like, those who don't study history fail, or those who fail to study history are doomed to repeat it. But I think it's a little bit more insidious than that. I think that people who don't study history or who don't know about history are doomed to just not know about it. So it's not the fact that it's being repeated, it's the fact that, knowing history gives you a sense of empowerment, I think. I definitely think that history is a form of empowerment. Knowledge is a form of empowerment. And when you have access to that knowledge, it drastically changes your life. That's why I think diversity in history education is super important, and diverse stories are super important too. So that's my little spiel on history. Thank you for enjoying my tangents. Yeah, I agree, especially what's happening now in today's age. We need these history stories to give us hope, to kind of give us a basis on like what to do. That's what I ask myself all the time, like, what can we do in this situation? And for me, what I can do is share these stories of what is going on, and share uplifting stories, and share, sometimes some not so uplifting stories, but help people learn about history. It's important to me. Yeah. So those are my thoughts. Deep thoughts with TK. I think this is looking pretty good. I like it. This table is so shaky, gosh darn. I have tried to fix the problem, but it seems that I did not. We got a new stand, but it still shakes when I use the colored pencils. We will get this setup figured out eventually. Not knowing anyone really in the content creation sphere is kind of hard sometimes. Like, no one in my life knows anything about this. So it's hard, like I can't ask advice on things like these. So I need to make more friends in the creator space to get their help on things like this. Hey, how do you make your camera not shake when you are doing live coloring book sessions? That's what I think about. I like the way this one is turning out a lot more than the way Washington turned out. Ooh, this is looking good. Okay. All right, time for the biggin. I think this color needs to be a little bit darker. That's not the right color for this, so we're just gonna have to deal. That's fine. That's okay. just press a little bit harder to make it a little bit darker. I wish I knew about color theory. That's another thing that I want to get into. Just learn about color theory. Learn how to make these better. But you know, it's okay to not be good at your hobbies. I always have to tell myself that. I always want to do the best at something, but I have to remind myself it is okay to suck at your hobbies. Coloring is just a hobby. I just enjoy it. And it's okay to just enjoy it and not be super, super great at it. Not that I'm bad at it, but you know, I don't have to be the best, and that's okay. That's okay. Maybe it's the oldest daughter in me that's like, you need to be the best. Ooh, I do have a Discord server. I have a Discord server. Yeah. I have a Discord server. And I guess I don't advertise it enough. But I will put a link to my Discord server in this video when we're done. I'll put it in the description. But yeah, I've got one of those. I've got a little Discord server, and we talk about things sometimes. Over on the Discord server, we did, for my birthday, I played my first game of Dungeons and Dragons, and I was a tiefling bard. I'd never played Dungeons and Dragons before, but my Instagram and TikTok algorithm were like, hey, you seem like you would like Dungeons and Dragons, and it gave me a lot of Dungeons and Dragons content. So I asked my my Patreon members if they would like to play Dungeons and Dragons with me and like teach me how, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. So we did it. We did it for my birthday, and it was so fun. It was so fun. And the dungeon master, who is a delicious donut, she DM'd the whole thing, and it was so fun. She made such a fantastic campaign. Short little campaign for us to like go and just enjoy, and there was a museum, and we had to basically steal back an old dwarven artifact. It was great. I almost died, but then I was revived. We had the best time. It was just so much fun. So yeah, I will put a link to the Discord server in there. And I need to advertise that more to let people know that I have a Discord server. I also have a book club. If you are interested in historical fiction, I have a historical fiction book club. We just started it in the month of October, and will be done at the end of November. It's a very relaxed book club. We don't do one book a month. We do one book every 2 months, just because I'm super busy, and I know a lot of the Delicious Donuts are super busy, so it's a more relaxed book club. We do historical fiction that is not often covered. So like this month we are reading The Night Ends with Fire, and it is a very dark Mulan. Is this green? Oops. It's a dark Mulan, like, fanfic, basically. So it's set in like the same premise as Mulan. This girl, she runs away from home, joins the military, but her reasoning for doing so is completely different. This is not a children's book, not at all. It is very dark, but it is very good. It's super good. So I highly recommend joining or just reading that. like that book itself, The Night Ends with Fire. It is fantastic. The only thing that I have a problem with is some of the characters' names. I'm like, they're not good. But, you know, it's fine. We can't love everything about a book sometimes. But I will also put a link to that. We do the book club through this app called Fable. And it's really cool. Not sponsored, by the way. I just really enjoyed the app Fable. But hey, Fable, if you're out there, you would sponsor me. Come on, girl. But the app Fable is really cool because we input like the book in there, and then it goes like chapter by chapter. So each chapter has a little post. So you can go in there and make your comments and discuss each chapter. You don't have to post in each chapter if you don't want to. There's also like a welcome page where we can just like chat and talk about the book. And then at the end of the month, at the end of November, we'll be doing a little Google Meets meetup where we discuss the book and we talk about our thoughts and how we felt about it. And yeah, just have a little fun chat time. And then at the end of November, the last week of November, we'll decide the next book. So it's pretty cool, pretty low stakes, like very casual book club, not trying to, you know, give anybody homework, just trying to have a good time and chat and feel a little bit more motivated to read books. That's all we're trying to do with this book club. And it's pretty cool. And then so over on Patreon, the higher level members are the ones who choose the book. I give them a few options and then they choose the book. Yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty legit. I love it. Okay, let's make this man's little shtick brown, and then we'll work on the Oregon tartan, and then I think we'll be done. I think that will be it. And let's give fella over here a little bit of color on his face. And then we'll make his little poll darker. Beautiful. One thing I definitely need to work on for next year is talking about the things that I'm doing more. Because there's a lot of cool stuff that For the Love of History does that I do. That's not only the podcast, but other things as well. So that's something I need to work on for sure. Ooh, I don't like this color. It's like a green color. I'm sorry, dude. Let's see if we can color theory this a little bit and make him not look like he has jaundice. Can we? Oh, no. Oh, I just made it worse. I think I made it worse. Let's add a little bit of, that's green, TK, get it together. Okay, oh, no, he looks green. That's all right, that is okay. You know what, it's fine. He has jaundice. We're just going to be okay with that. All right, now to end us off today, let's see if Oregon has a tartan. Oh, it does look like Oregon has a tartan. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Oregon has a tartan. Cool, ka-choo. All right, we've got, you know what? I think I want to use markers for the tartan instead of colored pencils. That's what we're going to do today. Oh my gracious. Okay, we're gonna start out with some green, some darker green. Cool. All right, we're gonna pull this bad mamma jamma here and put that there. And we see, okay. Okay. No, come back. All right, awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so we have our tartan here. And we're gonna have a little bit of green. Some green here. And then we've got a little tiny sliver of green here. Tiny sliver of green here. And then a big chunky thing of green right here. Cool. And then another thing of green right here. Another thing of green here. And a very thin thing of green right here. We do not have any green going this way. And now we need a very light blue. I love how, I'm wondering if all states have a tartan. Well, we'll find out. We'll figure out in this series that we're doing. All right, now we've got a blue here, a light blue, and then a light blue. And then we've got some light blues this way. And then, okay, we're good there. And then my favorite part, there's a magenta in this tartan. And I have the perfect color for that. Alrighty. We've got two big stripes of magenta right here. And then we've got a little stripe of magenta here. And then another one here. Okay. And then one right here. There's a lot of magenta up in this. Oh gosh. And then we have yellow. And you know what? We're going to get a little crazy. And we're going to bust out the gel pens. We are really multimedia-ing it up today. We've got a yellow here. And we've got a big swath of yellow here. And then we have one down here. Ooh, she's turning green. But that's okay. And then we've got yellow here. Cool. Then we're going to take our gel pens. Do we have white? We should have white. I am 99.999% sure we have white. But is the white here? It is not, but the yellow is here. Oh, random question. I remember you mentioned a while back that we were playing Ikemen Sengoku. Are you still playing? Yes. Yes, I do. I have been known to play Sengoku Ikemen, which is so funny because I actually started playing that because of my best friend who is also a Sengoku Ikemen lover. We both really, really like it. Ishida Mitsunari all day, every day. We stan that man so hard. And so I went over to her house. She lives about 45 minutes away from me. And I went over to her house yesterday because we were feeling all sorts of way. She's Canadian, so the election isn't as visceral for her. But I went over there to chit chat with her and just like kind of feel better. And we were talking about how we need to channel our inner Ishida Mitsunari, who is an actual historical person, historical character. And we're talking about how we need to be like him and channel his energy and make sure that we are taking care of people, because like that was his big thing. We were like, we need to be Ishida Mitsunari. Do you like the voice actors? Yeah. I like the voice actors. I don't know the names of the voice actors, actually. My friend would definitely know. She is way more on it than I am. She is into it, and I love that. But I am not sure the names of the voice actors, but I like them. I like them a lot. They are lovely. And we play in the American one, in the American version, not the Japanese version, because we live in Japan. Because it's easier to rank in Ishida Mitsunari's, like, you know, the top 100 when they have events and stuff going on. It's easier to rank in his category in the United States one, because for some reason people in the States don't like Ishida Mitsunari as much. And I'm like, hey guys, he's the best and most unproblematic warlord in this Sengoku Ikemen. What is wrong with you? So many people like Date Masamune, and I'm like, hey guys, he is a walking red flag. Oh, Marissa, if you were at my friend's level, yeah, you guys would get along so well. Because she wants somebody to talk to about this kind of stuff. And I feel bad because I'm like, oh, I don't know everything. She's so knowledgeable about this stuff. It's incredible. So I will have to get her expertise on the voice actors and characters and stuff. So, oh, the rankings. Oh, the villains version. You like a walking red flag, Marissa. Yes, I will spill her deets. I don't know what her username is, but I will find it. And if you join the Discord, I will send it to you immediately. Or as soon as I can. Oh my god, we forgot the red apple. Okay. Hey, at least you know that you enjoy a red flag, Marissa. That's the first step is acceptance. You're so funny. Okay, we are done. We have finished our Oregon. I love it. I think it looks beautiful. I'm much more satisfied with it than the last one. The tartan is a little bit messed up, but hey, you know what? That's okay. We are okay. I love it. This is great. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings on this and other things. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next time for our next installment of Vintage Coloring Book Series. So thank you so much. Here I am. Oh, can you see me? Okay, bye. Love you. Love you, bye.